Ways to deal with emotional stress. Now, if you have stumbled upon this video by someone forwarding it or me forwarding it to you, it's my pure intention is to help you relieve your emotional stress. And we normally think that stress management looks like meditation and eating healthy food, like those graphics that we see. But how does it actually look like for real humans? And as a physician, as someone who has practiced as an OBGYN for more than 15, 16 years, and worked as a physician from my MBBS education until my mastery and everything, like I've been in the physician world for more than 27 years. And if we take even before that, my parents are both doctors. So I've been around physicians. So my brain is like a physician brain. So if you are a physician, this video is specifically for physician or healthcare employees, but the tools which I'm going to teach are applicable to every human who is high achieving or who just wants to do big things, but at the same time is like extremely stressed and does not know how to deal with it, right? Um, we normally will think that our jobs, our responsibilities, our relationships are generating stress. And because we can't leave them, we think that um, we feel that we need to keep on being stressed. But the thing is, stress is a feeling in our body. It's literally a feeling in our body, and it generally presents in language in our mind as a negative emotion that we are trying to get rid of. When I started to do this work, because I was really burnt out as a physician. And even before the pandemic happened, I used to like journal about how I can escape this. And when I found life coaching, and I found a lot of physicians taking up life coaching as a profession, I was like, oh my God, this is it. And I knew some of the tools, and I was like really doing well. I had immediately signed up. Um, And it took me like 3 years because my coach was very, very clear that you don't leave a job just because, you know, you can, because that is causing you stress. You need to clean your mind because otherwise you just carry the same brain into the next thing. And it's like a new flavor of stress. So we as human beings, the way we are conditioned, we think that once we change the circumstance, we will be stress free, but that's not the case. Okay, and I'm going to keep on talking about it more. So, like, if you go on the Google or even AI, if you can ask AI, like, give me a list of emotions, it will give you a list of positive and negative emotions. And again, we think in language, and as humans, we speak language. Like, if you're watching me in English, our English dictionary gives so many feelings. Similarly, if you speak Hindi, Urdu, Marathi, French, any Spanish, you would have your language emotions, right? Because we think in language, we label emotions also in language. But if you look at what these feelings are, these are sort of if you remember studying medicine, when we were learning nervous system, we talked about autonomic nervous system, which is sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. You remember the effects of sympathetic and parasympathetic? It's something like that, those feelings. And then there are some charts where you'll feel certain emotions are in the head, certain in the neck, certain in the chest and the pelvis and all of that, right? So it's a nervous system thing. It's a very much autonomic nervous system thing. I have not gone too deep into it because all you need to know is like when you're experiencing what feeling and how to interrupt it and how to change it if that's even possible, because because a lot of these feelings are generated depending on your past, your complex past, which is very specific to your gender, to your race, to your ancestral heritage. And a lot of it is coded in your genes as well. So understand that. Plus, so much of it is like coded with the sun, right? Like it's so deeply coded in our genetics. So a lot of it will be coming from the way you feel, and the way you respond to situations will be different from human to human. It will be different in your own case as well. And the way you look at it is basically, can we change it? Right? Like whatever is happening in the body, the brain is perceiving something is scary because it perceives something. It perceived danger, even when there is no danger. So can we change that? So we're going to talk more about it. But like if you just, I can enlist some of the negative emotions that most people feel, which are like dissatisfaction, pessimism, boredom, frustration, irritation, worry, overwhelm, disappointment, doubt, blaming others, discouraged, anger, revenge, um oh gosh, I can't read my own handwriting, I'm reading it. Hate, jealousy, insecurity, unworthiness, fear, grief, sadness, and victimhood. These are some of the emotions, negative emotions. And like as humans, like if you have ever had a child, you will see a child go through these rough emotions in front of you. But even then, like if you were to just classify into those four core emotions like anger, sadness, fear, and happiness, like it could just be that. And there is like a whole plethora of positive emotions as well. Like, okay, I'm going to just read it from my list. I have all these lists in front of me because it's really a lot. I mean, this is just a basic list which I got from Abraham Hicks' emotional scale. I love it. I have done a lot of her work. Um, and what is fascinating is like as a physician, for me, I took up a profession which my father was doing, OBGYN. We had a nursing home, and we have a nursing home, and it was like a laid out path for me. But I never really explored what I really wanted. And I'm really drawn towards mental health. Like once I realized that, okay, I can do anything at this point, I did everything in my profession, and I was like really like inclined towards this. That's why I came here, and I learned a lot of teachers, and there's still so many more. But by now I have learned they're teaching similar stuff. Nobody's teaching like new stuff. I have learned whatever I had to learn. So the positive emotions are, you can just Google this as Abraham Hicks emotional scale. Positive emotions are joy. Number one is joy, knowing, love, appreciation, freedom, worth, security, confidence, power. These are like number one emotions. Number two would be passion, commitment. Number three is enthusiasm, eagerness, excitement, happy. Number four is positive belief or positive expectation. Number five is optimism. Number six is hopefulness. Number seven is contentment, satisfaction, or even relief. And number eight, so then the lower emotions will go like number eight is bored, number nine is pessimism, number 10 is frustration, irritation, impatience, number 11 is overwhelmed, number 12 is disappointed, doubt, and so on, the ones which I mentioned before. So these feelings can be fleeting, especially if we just like notice it and release. If we notice and release, it can be like a very fleeting experience. But we don't have a habit of doing that. This is again a very evolutionarily designed thing. Our brain, depending on whatever we see, it will have an interpretation of the current situation in almost like half a second. 500 microseconds or something, it will have, it will generate an emotion. So you have an option to change it early. Like they say that if you can interrupt an emotion in like for 17 seconds, it can be interrupted. very early before it has started. But later on it just like builds momentum, and like a lot of neuronal pathway gets activated, which is that fear base, like that emotion base, everything will get activated. Suppose you are planning to do something and you didn't do it, um, and you're procrastinating, and time has passed and you have not done that task which you were supposed to do. The brain might start judging you and attacking you with guilt, and then it can like fire all the guilt pathways, which are like all the things that you're guilty about. It will activate all of that, and it can, like, if you're a mother, it will just come like mother's guilt, and like it will all open up those pathways. So, or it can just be like wife guilt or any sort of thing that it can just like activate all of those things. So, but we can still interrupt it early on. So instead, we the reason why all of that activates is because mirror neurons get activated. And we also keep on thinking, like all of that just gets activated, and we keep on thinking about it, even when we are doing the basic tasks sometimes. Like, suppose you are operating and you're very good at that surgery, but you're not, the nurse who's assisting you is not fun, or the anesthetist is troubling you, or it can be anything, right? Like that will keep on going on in your mind while you're still doing your surgery. So we have this tendency to like multitask, right? Especially for the things which you are on autopilot, like the skills which you know how to do, like a surgery, you just know how to suture. Like we used to suture patients episiotomies, perineal tears, and even cesareans in our sleep, because we have done it so many times, right? So but at the same time there is a narrative going on over some random things. So we keep on thinking and feeling these fear based emotions while doing our day to day life. We can interrupt this by a lot of exercises, and I'm going to narrate some of them. We can interrupt it. Like, if you have an opportunity to take a break with just like a power nap, if you can just sit somewhere and close your eyes, I used to do that, or even meditating. If you can go to a doctor's room and let's just take a break, if that is possible. But we won't do that many times because the brain sometimes it's like it's picked up momentum with anxiety and all these fear based thoughts, that it won't let you do it because it will feel like it's not safe to just slow down like this. And also, we don't have a habit of doing such things, right? Because there's like a mountain of things to be done, um, and it just won't let you. Plus, these feelings are generated with the sentences in our mind. It's like, it's so fascinating. Like, when I came into this field, I was like, oh my God, especially OBGYNs and all these doctors, we just have like such a strong pacing mind. We think, like, most of us are anxious, very anxious. And I used to think it's just me. But when I became a coach, and then when we used to be in labor unit, and we had this big monitor where we will see all the patients' CTGs, all rooms CTGs will be on one screen, and we all doctors are like sitting, and like one person will, like, not one person, they can delegate easily, one person just look at the screen, but we all will be staring sometimes. And sometimes the fetal heart is dropping, and they'll be like, where is the midwife, what is she doing? And I'm like, come on, we have standard protocols. Like, we have one of the tools, cognitive tools, is like fact versus drama. Whereas, like, we know exactly how to read the CTG. So why are we getting anxious right now? Because why? Like, give the baby a chance. Let's reassess the situation. It's only after a particular time that we have to act and all of that. Still, we all would like jump into like the first minute. And so much of our mindset training by our seniors was like, sit on your hands. That was like such a big lesson that I had learned. But apart from that, there are sentences in our mind which are like generating this anxiety, and also we mirror other people. So suppose if you get anxious, someone else will get anxious. Suppose if they are anxious, you will get anxious. So you mirror other humans. But even if there is no one and it's just you, like you're a private practitioner in a private practice and it's just you and you still have your thoughts. That narrative is so strong and so powerful, especially if you have been in scary situations, which most doctors have been. Like they just like you just need one scary situation and your brain will try to protect you so much with so much thinking. So we have these thoughts and we think in language. So any narrative in our mind is capable of generating these very powerful emotions. And as I said, like in half a second, the brain will interpret if it's like safe or not safe, and it will generate all thinking, and a lot of emotions will be generated in your body, which will make you take action or not take action. Unfortunately, we have around 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. 60 to 70, somebody did a data on this. And I'm not gonna like if you ask me to present datas and all, I'm not going to present you datas because you need to gather data of your own in your own body. Like the moment you're like, oh my god, I don't need someone else's perspective, I just need to have my own perspective in this situation, you can release it. Like, what do you really think about it? Because we look for data and evidence based medicine because we don't trust ourselves, we don't trust something. But if you try to experiment with yourself, you will find your own evidence. You can create your own evidence. And the moment your brain finds evidence, it's like, done. I don't need any evidence. This thing works for me, I'll keep it. So it's basically that's it can be that simple. But again, we are doctors. Doctors are not simple. We have a tendency. It was really it's just the profession. I wouldn't even say that it's our brain or something. We were trained that way. So be nice to yourself. Doctors are not nice to themselves. I have had lots of doctor clients and I see that in them. I used to see me, how much self critical I was of myself. I see it in them. It's like I just have to open that can of worms and it's like she's out or he's out attacking himself. So 60 to 70,000 sometimes thoughts a day of just this self criticism. That's a lot on our nervous system. So we can't change all of our narrative, but we can change one narrative a day. That we can build that practice, and that's a self-coaching practice. Is deep. It needs you need to get trained in that, but it can be changed. And even if suppose you can't change that narrative on a daily basis, at least change it when you are in the emotion and you just can't you don't see hope. Do it that time. Try to change the narrative that time. It's possible. Or once a week on a coaching call. If you know someone who can coach you, meet that person. If you have colleagues who can give you better thoughts, talk to them and like explore that. That's why we gossip most of the time, right? So that we can find better feeling thoughts and we will feel the relief. Do that. But sometimes we don't feel safe talking to others as well. So that in that case, do it on your journal and you will find something better, provided you are out of that emotion. So we have to interrupt this stress which is generating with our thinking. We can interrupt it in three stages. One is at the feeling level in our body. Second is in our thought level or belief level in our cognition. And third is circumstantially in things that we can control, not others. Okay? So we can't control other human beings. We can only influence them, but we can 100% control ourselves. So let's talk about the body level. And like I've initiated a series of stress management tools on Instagram, and I've put it in a highlight section in Instagram so you can catch up. Like I'm on tool number 6, but I'm gonna like keep on adding the tools over there, so you can get like a short narrative explanation around all of these tools over there. So do follow me there. My current handle is PCOS Mindset Coach because I do target my marketing towards PCOS audience because I think that group of women, if we help them directly, the children who will come from them, they will be healthier. because those women are going to be sort of the matriarchy in their household. And also, they themselves would have a better perimenopause and a postmenopausal period. So, I target PCOS women. Please, if you have anyone, please send them to my page, let them binge on my content and see if that works for them. Okay, so, but the tools which I explain are applicable for everyone. Okay, so please visit that page of mine. At body level, how do we interrupt the stress? Is number one, the sure short way of interrupting any sort of stress is meditation. Meditation, and this is like if you can do a silent meditation, that will be phenomenal because that's like you entering, like that's getting you closer to nirvana. Of course, there are like many stages of that. I have not gone there and I don't intend to go there because it can go into full blown like we don't need to do anything. And I'm not there yet and I don't want to. Maybe when I grow old, I might explore that. Older than now. I'm just like 45 at this point. My hair is just gray, but so there is meditation where you sit in one place. I generally sit behind. I turn off the lights. I turn off all sort of sensory experiences. Um, get myself comfortable, not too hot, not too cold, just like a baby, you know. How we used to, like if you had a baby ever, how we will snuggle them up, and it's something like that. Not too hot, not too cold. Reduce as many sensory impulses, and you sit in meditation for at least say 15 to 20 minutes. And here initially your brain is going to pace, it's not going to want you to sit down, especially if you don't feel safe. So primary, the first prerequisite for meditation would be you need to feel safe. um, so that is number one. And then if you're doing silent meditation, just let the thoughts come and move. Like we generally are in a meditative state when we are going to sleep. So you will enter a very sleepy state, and then after a point, normally if you're in bed, we go into deep sleep, sort of, right? Like you go into through the stages of sleep. But when you're not sleeping, when you're sitting, you will go from a pacing mind. And if your mind is pacing too much, if you do breath work at that time, like just prolonged exhalations, 5 prolonged exhalations will slow down your breathing, activate the parasympathetic nervous system, and the thinking will also slow down. So that is meditation. Once your thinking slows down, what happens is after a point, you literally reach a point where there's thoughtlessness. And then you will start feeling a different sensation in your body. Like in my case, sometimes I start feeling suddenly warm, sometimes I'll start feeling cold, and it will come in sort of spikes, it will come in impulses. And that is a moment of thoughtlessness. You don't feel the touch sensation. I mean, you just have to experience it. It's like your brain wavelength is changing. So if you are a neurologist, please explain this to me in a language that you might understand. But what I understand is you go from beta awake state, you go from there to alpha and then to theta. And when you enter theta, I'm talking about without any drugs or any substances. When you're entering theta, what's happening is it's like you start seeing colors. It's you start seeing colors. Your eyes are closed, right? You start seeing colors, and sometimes it feels like expansion. It's like one thing is expanding, expanding, expanding. It's different. It's not like an orgasm or anything, but it's like a very expansive feeling. So that when you reach that is sort of a theta stage. And if you can plug in your visualization, your vision board, or some sort of beliefs that you're practicing or you want to practice, that is when you're accessing your subconscious mind, and it will get implanted into your subconscious mind. All right, so number one powerful tool to interrupt your stress pattern is meditation. Number two is power naps. Like if you are busy doing things and if you can just take a power nap of 5 minutes in front of your computer, just close your eyes, especially after eating food, 3, 4 p.m. That is a circadian rhythm. You are going to experience the dull. Or even at night, if you're working nights and stuff, just start taking power naps, 5 to 10 minutes. That's very refreshing because whatever you're thinking stops. But only thing you need to know is when you wake up, don't start the same narrative again because the brain will want to default to the old narrative, but stop and change your thinking, right? Third, a way to interrupt stress in your body, sleep. Because whatever we were thinking the whole day, whatever was our general overall emotion, that gets interrupted when you sleep. Now, again, when you wake up, it can start right back there, or you can change your narrative. Also, in your sleep, what happens is the dreams that you experience, you're not dreaming all the time. It can feel like that, but that is again based on whatever you were doing the whole day. So that's why having a gratitude practice, which is cognitive work, before going to bed can be very helpful. So sleep is the third one. Fourth one is like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find 5 evidences that you can see that you're safe. 4 things that you can hear or touch that show you that you're safe. 3 things that you can hear that you're safe. 2 things that you can smell that is showing that you're safe, and 1 thing that you can what do you call taste or I always glitch over the senses or just do a breath work. That is that it slows down the brain, the thinking loop that you are in. Look at it. You know how OCD is, obsessive compulsive disorder, where they are in this thought loop pattern where they think something, they feel something, and they take action, and then they keep on looping in that. That's exactly something which is happening for us when it's ruminating, when you're ruminating or you're doing the same things again and again, which are generating stress. It's almost similar. It's highly incapacitating for OCD people, but many people are OCDs, including myself. So we will do this. I think I think it's an occupational hazard. I would blame the profession that we were in, or we are in case you are still practicing physician. So anywhere, like you need to interrupt that loop, right? And you can interrupt it at the body level with this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the next one is box breathing or prolonged exhalations, like 5 box breaths. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. I do this with my kid. I do this for myself. It's like a prescription. I literally tell my clients this is the way to interrupt it. You have to interrupt it, especially when you catch it early. When you catch the stress building up in your body, do this breath work. It will really interrupt it. There's so many tools I'm giving you. You can use any tool. Then the next one is mindfulness. This is another weird one because it's basically being present. Putting your attention to whatever you're doing, and you can do this in every wake wakeful moment. Just be present whatever you're doing. Right now I'm being present with this. You are being present watching me and not doing multitasking. Even while you're eating, mindfully eat. Like, don't do 2 things at a time. Do that one task. If you're with your family, enjoy the family. If you're watching a movie, watch the movie. If you're driving, just drive. Don't try to multitask. Don't try to think scary thoughts while driving, but just focus. If required, verbalize. If you're cooking, imagine you're in a cooking show and like start narrating the cooking experience, but being present or being mindful is the key. The next step is like stepping out in the sun or just stepping out in nature because it changes circumstances and the brain, like the animal in you, will be like, oh, what's this? And it stops the stressful loop that you are in. After this, walking, because walking is bilateral tapping. This is one of the ways um, a trauma processing therapy, EMDR, or bilateral tapping, where a therapist will ask you to tap something simultaneously on your thighs, and then they will keep on asking you to narrate the incidents which generated pain or trauma for you. So, what's happening when you're tapping? You're activating both parts of your brain, and the information, whatever you're thinking, it gets distributed in both parts. So, same thing happens with walking. So whatever you're thinking, if you're walking and thinking, it is you're processing that information. It's not getting compartmentalized in one area. Honestly, I don't know exactly the whole logistics of it because I'm not a psychologist. I'm not done any of those therapy work. I'm just a physician who has seen a lot of people in pain, and I understand some basics, and I use these tools and they work for me, and I think they will work for you. That's it. So, walking, definitely. Include that. It's excellent for your heart and it's excellent for your brain as well. Exercise, any sort of exercise, apart from walking. Holding positions, uncomfortable positions again and again, where stretching your muscle, causing that micromuscular tear, it shifts your brain's focus from whatever you're looping in into that exercise. Apart from that, changing sensory experiences like hot and cold. Like if it's cold, go and just wash your hands in hot water. If it's hot, wash your hands in cold water, splash it on your face. It will break whatever is going on, and your attention will go to that temperature change. Apart from that, singing and humming. Come on, so many of my friends used to sing and they love singing. And if you if you were a 90s teenager and if you're an Indian, we had so many cool songs from our teenage years, from our adolescence. Start singing those. It's like time traveling, or just humming. Every morning, suppose you hum a song, the next morning you will hum the same song, and the next morning you'll do the same. And if you keep doing it, it will just keep on looping in like an earworm. It will start first thing in the morning. So it's a very powerful habit. Try that. Apart from that, there's dancing. There is one Instagram person, influencer sort of. She talks about jumping every morning, and she started doing it to like balance her brain in the morning. And that now in perimenopause is considered like a very good exercise to increase the osteoblastic activity. So I don't know about men, but at least for women, jumping, dancing is now supposed to be good for your bone health. And of course, if you're obese and you have injured knees, so first you would have to lose the weight before you jump. That's what my personal opinion is. And weight loss can be achieved. Again, it's about setting a goal and cleaning up your thoughts around it. But dancing and jumping are good ways to release the stress from your body. Apart from that, there's shaking. There are some shaking videos on YouTube where you start shaking each part of your body from head to toe. And it's like you really engage in that somatic practice where you're releasing the emotion. I have not personally tried it, but I'm like, if we can do it with the thoughts, I try to do it with thoughts. I don't release so much emotion. I love power naps. I love meditation. Those are like going out in the sun, walking. I love those. So, I mean, whatever I'm saying, you don't have to do it all. Just pick whatever you like. It's like a big plethora of things that you can pick from. And then there is tapping, bilateral tapping, or there are some people who tap on these bones. Again, I'm not, I used to do tapping when I was getting therapy for my past traumas. Trust me, OBGYN, a field in itself, will generate so much trauma that needs to be processed. So I had to process a lot of my past traumas just entering into OBGYN. So I offer you also take that up if you don't see any of these things helping you. So that was body level interruption of stress. Now we will come, sorry, this is, we are still in the UAE war time. Okay, so next is the thought level interruption of stress. And if you can see, right now, I'm not even worried about this thing. Even when my brain is like, oh yeah, you need to go and take shelter, but my office is like a bunker in itself because it has no windows and it's away from windows. And now my brain is like sort of normalized to it. So unless something happens, I'll pause the video, but otherwise, we are all safe. So let's talk about the thought level interruption of stress. This is where you go into your cognition and you play with the language so that you can change the way you think. If you are thinking differently, the emotion is different. So, the best practice that you can do anytime is journaling, writing a diary, maintaining a diary. You can either do it on piece of paper, like physical. That is the best way because I think writing on paper, it literally it's like a bridge between brain and body because you're removing your thoughts through your fingers, and it's like a somatic practice. It's coming, the emotion gets to flow out of your body, right? Like that energy is flowing out of your body, and then once it comes out of your brain on paper, it's like brain is empty. It's like those parts got airtime. So, journaling is one of the strong practices you need to maintain. If you don't feel safe keeping physical journals, do it online. Write an email to yourself or write it on paper and tear it and throw it. Um, you can get creative around that. Second is answering powerful questions. Like the best question I think I'm always thinking when I'm coaching a client is like, how is this perfect for them? Right? Even when we have patients who are going through like agony, the worst case scenario, when they're going through that, I used to always like other doctors have modeled this for me, and they used to be like, this is going to make you stronger, especially women, right? Like they go through so much. And I think that is applicable for everything that we go through, right? Like every suffering that we go through, like right now, the suffering that I am in, which is like the war which is happening. And I have not left the country, I'm still here. And I'm like seeing how my brain and body reacts to these fears. How is this perfect for me? Because this is my training ground. This is making me stronger. If it won't kill me, it will make me stronger for sure, 100%, right? And I have the skill. I'm a physician. We do weird things. We do weird, scary stuff. So, answering a powerful question like, how is this perfect for me? And there are many questions like, wait, like, so what? Whatever you are going through. So, what? Or so now what? Or what do we make it mean? Those are like shitty question. But I think, how is this perfect for you? Is like, it's like rips off a bandage from whatever we are thinking. Next tool when it comes to cognition is preparation or mental rehearsal. Preparing ahead of time your day, like every segment, if you just write down how you want to think and feel, that's great. Another tool is going from a negative space to a positive space. I like to call it as like going from a negative room to a positive room. So you just basically take a book and write all the negative thoughts here and positive thoughts here. So whatever was your negative thought, you just flip it as a positive thought. And by first you let the negative come, because if you're in a negative space, you'll have plenty and it will try to overflow to the next page. And all you have to do is just like flip them, or like just flip the narrative, and the moment the narrative changes, you will feel better and you'll be out. So sometimes you don't even have to flip the whole all the thoughts, just one thought changes and you'll be out of it. So it's fascinating how our brains work. You have to try it. Next tool is future focus. Like every time you are in your suffering, always wonder what how would your future self, who is successful, who has figured all of this, how would she or he deal with it, and then come from that space. It's basically your highest self. You're accessing your highest self, your wisdom, and trying to find out how I would do it differently, or even asking yourself if like there is some always someone who has exact same problems as me and they have figured it out. How did they figure it out? Right? Is always going to be in the thinking space, not in the action space. It's always going to be around the attitude they have, the beliefs they hold. So they beliefs and attitude can be cultivated. Next tool is like separating facts from drama. So, like, what is the objective fact, right? Like, right now, I got this message. This is the objective fact. 3 days back, I was like petrified. 3 days, I'm sorry, 10 days back, petrified when these alerts would come. I used to just freeze day, night, anytime. And now I'm like, huh, it's okay. I know how this works. I'm calm. I'm really calm. Well, not that calm. I'm a little bit worried, but I can work with it. As physicians, we are trained to work with uncertainty. We are trained to work with fear until it works, right? And especially when we have evidence like something works for sure, we are pretty confident. But even for that to happen, for us to reach that space, we have to go through the suffering, right? Like every complication you have had, you had to go through the complication to figure out that, okay, this is how you deal with the complication. Complication is not a problem, it just happens. Next tool is like being honest, not with someone, but just like let's be honest with ourselves. Can just we be honest? Like, what is the problem here? Right? And that honesty can be a game changer in the moment. It can help us feel better. Next tool in the cognition space is five whys. Ask yourself five whys. And listen, I'm giving you a lot of tools here because I just have used so many of these tools on myself and my clients. You don't have to use all of them, but I want to just like tell you that there are so many ways to interrupt stress, right? Like something is bothering you. If you keep asking yourself why, like a child, why, like for example, um the war is happening. Why? Okay. Because the world is crazy. This is my ultimate thought. My thought is human beings are crazy. Why? Because human beings are smart and they are try to outsmart each other. Why? Because it's a survival thing. Why? Because they want to live. Why? Because what is life otherwise? So many whys I just like asked myself, and I've reached a core truth of humanity, which is like it's all about our survival. Because once, if we are not surviving, what are we doing? We are dead. So in my brain, it stops at that point. Like keep on asking yourself whys until your brain makes peace with it. The next tool is like the worst case scenario and best case scenario. Like our brain will try to go to the worst case scenario always. So let it go, write it down. And then what is the best case scenario? Write that down. And sometimes both are not possible. So you have to find a middle ground, but it's a tool. Let's go. Worst case and the best case. Next tool is an evaluation. Whatever you're going through, do an evaluation. What worked in this? What didn't work? And what you'll do differently next time? Or what are the lessons learned? This is the evaluation, especially if you're trying to do new things. If you're doing the same stuff, maybe not. But if you're trying to do anything new, or you come across something new, a new complication, a patient got upset, or a nurse got upset, and then you might want to like tell yourself that I did something wrong or she did something wrong. But the thing is, that happened. It's a past now, and you have a chance to think something else. So you can do an evaluation of that thing. What worked? How did you react, which was useful? How did you react, which was not useful? And what will you do next time? Or what were the lessons learned? We are constantly profiling other humans. So you can just do this objectively on paper and see if the stress goes away. Writing letters, especially to around humans who we are so upset with, just write it. Write a letter. You don't have to mail them. You can delete it, but just let it flow out of your system. That this is all I want to tell you. I should have said this. I should have said that. Right? Writing letters is a good tool. You can write a letter to your future self of how you solved a problem, like a triumph story, and how you came out on the other side victorious. It's all weird stuff. Last tool is getting coach or getting therapy with another human. This is like all these tools that you can do by yourself. Now, I know of these tools because I literally got trained to be a coach for a year. For a year. When I had no business in the coaching industry, mindset coaching especially. I never understood anything. So a year I'm just getting trained by all these coaches, and I'm like, what are feelings? I don't understand these feelings. I used to like, I can tell you I have symptoms, headache, back pain, this and that, but I don't know what are these feelings. I really did not understand that. I had to again work on getting a job as a coach in part time. So I kept on doing this work on the side, coaching my peers. And then for a year, I was in, for 6 months, I was in master coach training. where they actually told me, Doctor, sorry to say this, but you don't understand this work. I was like, oh my God. But then I'm good at faking things. So I kept on doing this. And then finally I understood. And then I got the job also as a coach. And I was like, okay, finally something worked. When they told me that you don't understand and you need to do this sort of work. Oh my God, it was agonizing. But I did it. And like it just felt so amazing. It was like the most alive I've felt. Um, and then I did a lot of Abraham Hicks work, and I came across a lot of coaches, a lot of tools. Just my own coach has given me so much. I got primarily certified by Brooke Castillo from the Life Coach School. She's not offering coach certification now, but like she was a Martha Beck coach, and so like her tools and all were just amazing, amazing. And I've coached her clients for like 2 years straight, every week, 20, 30 hours, all clients all over the world sitting in one place. It was just like a dream job until she decided to close the membership. And it was like, oh, now I need to focus on my stuff. So, but it was okay. So, getting coached is, I think, like a spa experience. I personally don't like massages and spas, but then, like, someone, a session with someone every week for an hour or 50 minutes where I just talk about me, that's so amazing. I think, and you need to find a good coach because you might find coaches who are very triggering. So, I mean, if you think that if you are listening to me until now, maybe there's something you like about me. And if you are interested, just send me a message that if you're interested in coaching. But having a coach is a good practice. Apart from that, getting therapy is also excellent. They go into past a lot, and they uncover a lot of suppressed emotions, which is very painful, agonizing, but it's very healing as well. Apart from that, there is gratitude work. Every night you can just write three things that you're grateful for, or you can pray to God and tell God three things you're grateful for. And then there is celebration process where you're celebrating, not with food and drinks, but like with verbal compliments of all the amazing things that you do. Now, the way we can deal with at a circumstance level, how we can interrupt stress, as again I say, we don't have to change the circumstance because the circumstance is not generating our stress. Our thinking is, right? But certain circumstances would. If they are not generating safety for you, if someone is physically harming you, is physically asking you to do things which are not humanly, like you're not getting enough rest and all, you can draw boundaries around that. So either you can eliminate the circumstance, like if you are in a job or a situation where someone is exploiting you constantly compared to others, you can just leave, right? Most people don't leave, but you can eliminate that circumstance. If you're in a relationship where there's abuse, physical abuse, you can just leave. Women need to understand that. Doctor women also need to understand that. So they're drawing boundaries, like learning to say no to yourself first and to others. And when someone crosses a boundary, what is the action that you are going to take, not they? What are you going to do when they cross a boundary, right? How will you get to safety? So, circumstantially, you need to do things only which are in your control by either eliminating certain actions or by executing certain actions or even silence and not reacting. That could be your circumstantial action change. So, for example, like most people will want to leave their jobs because they think the job is causing the stress, right? But the thing is that the same job was generating excitement at a point. And after some time, you just gathered more data and the brain just went into fear mode and it's just trying to be in survival mode. But the thing is, you can be creative. Like every fear that you're getting, that your brain is perceiving is open for a strategy creation. It's an obstacle your brain has perceived. We don't want to suppress it or like make it go away or avoid it or become a victim out of it, but like really look at it. If it's bothering you, you need to objectively look at this. This is a real problem for me. How do I solve this? Right? So either you would have to solve for that issue or you would have to change the way you're thinking about that issue. Right? So that's what we do in coaching. So I'm a mindset coach, so I'm into the thinking line. The body work, what I've told you, you can do all of those. Follow me on Instagram and you will get those short clips of how to do those each tool. But if you want that one-to-one support where you want to really solve your problems, now I'm not going to solve your problems. I don't know what are your solutions, but I'm going to guide you through it. I'm going to ask you, what do you think? Because we have these emotional parts in us, and there's a scared part, there's a child, there's a protector, there's an angry one, there's a victim, there's one who's a critic, and then there is a higher self. There's the one who's curious, there's the one who's problem solver. So I help you access those parts on the sessions, right? So we have an option to really investigate our fears as if like it's a symptom. Why did you get it, right? And because if we don't investigate these fears, what's going to happen is you're going to still survive. You're surviving. It's just that those fear based emotions in your body are going to deplete you because they are all very heavy, tense emotions. Most of the times we are like this. We need to relax the body as often as possible. Um, so we can resist a lot of emotions and we can distract ourselves with a lot of social media or suppress these emotions with food or substances, or we can react to these emotions in the form of anger or being a victim. None of it is wrong. It's just that there's a better way. You can let your emotions flow through your body and then, if possible, explore a better feeling thought. And this is a skill. You need to build the skill. And listen, it's not easy. Even when I said it, these two words, I'm also a constant work in progress. But I'm like, the more you work on these things, it gets better and better. So I'm like a different person completely than what I was a year back, 2 years back, 6 years back, 7 years back. I've been doing this work for 7 years. So for you, like if you want to take away something, this can look like a simple daily practice of like morning, start with journaling if you can, preparing for your day, doing a mental rehearsal of all the things that you need to do, how you need to think, exercise in the morning, release that morning emotions or the morning blues, start your day with powerful songs or a dance or jumping practice, breath work or 5 prolonged breaths every hour, like literally with your eyes closed, let it the sympathetic get converted into parasympathetic. Allow a gratitude practice before going to bed, like all the things you're thankful for. Early bedtime, sleep when your eyes are heavy, mindful eating, sleep every night 7 to 9 hours at night preferably. So this might look like a full-time job, a lot of work for some of us. And that's only when we think that we need to achieve all of this together. Because I created this video, right? Because I figured it out. Your brain might think that I should also figure it out because Rashmi figured it out, so I can figure it out. Trust me, don't do that. As I said, I took 7 years and I still have a long way to go. So, so every tool that I mentioned, I have like one at a time tried to work with it. So give your brain plenty of time, lots of luxury, and you have to keep an eye on that critic of yours. You really have to tame her or him, okay? Because if you don't do that, your brain is just going to get overwhelmed because it's going to expect you to do it all and it's going to shut down because it's not possible. This is a different identity completely. You will completely dismiss this whole idea of like leading a life which is stress free. And the way you're going to not dismiss it is by working on one habit at a time. I personally started with celebration work, where my coach literally used to tell me, send me your 10 celebrations in audio or in text. And in details, she was like, please explain to me, how is this a celebration? And later on, I kept on doing it because once you start doing something in that direction, initially it will be very hard. And I will always tell my clients, give me 10 things that worked today or in the last 24 hours. And they will be like in so much irritation and so much annoyance that I'm making them do this. But then once they get started, they are like, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. It's like you enter a different brain space. Oops. It's this which is scaring me. Okay, the alert is gone. Um, so celebration feels good, and you keep doing it if you start doing it. Apart from that, journaling was the next thing. It always helped me. I held the belief that journaling always helps me, so I used to always come to my journal. So I used to do that even at work. Anytime I'm feeling negative, I'll just open my notes folder and start writing there. At work, every bathroom break was a mental break, either comprising of 5 long, prolonged breaths or listening to or dancing to a nice song. 3, 4 minutes, right? Nobody's watching me. It's a safe space. Unless there is a code happening outside, then I had to go out. But that was very rare. So the mental breaks are necessary. And if you're not giving yourself one, start giving yourself one. So now, if you've watched so far, you might want to do all of this, but I promise you that life will take over, right? If you try to do it all. And even if you decide that, okay, I'll just do one thing at a time, still your old life, your old habits, your old identity is going to take over and you'll forget about everything that I said. Like it will be there in your memory intellectually, but you will not apply it. Hence, I would like to write to you every week as a reminder. And if you found this video as a forward from a friend or a colleague, then please message me so I can add you to my email list or to my WhatsApp list and or my newsletter, and I keep on reminding you about this work because I will release something every week. I release a newsletter every week, not a newsletter, a weekly email. I do want to create a newsletter, but the brain wants to do it all and it won't do anything. So I struggle with that too, even now. But the best way to ensure that this work that I taught you sticks is if I am your private coach, if I'm coaching you directly. Trust me, and if you have watched this video till now, it's probably because you are interested in what I'm saying, in how I am saying it. So I do offer at this point one-to-one private coaching, and there are only a select number of hours and select number of clients I can take. So please check with me for the availability. If there is a spot available, I will ask you to meet me on a short consultation to just understand your case, if you and I are a good fit. What my intention is that every human being, especially every doctor, everyone in healthcare field should get that emotional support they need while they're achieving big, brave goals. Because even when I had all the coaching, my desire to leave the profession was so high. But at the same time, I've been around doctors so much. I just have seen that pain so much, and I have managed my mind in those areas that I really feel compelled to help you, especially in times like this, right? Like when there is like war happening, when there is pandemic happening, when there is like such scary global events happening, but doctors have to keep working. So the best way to continue working this hard-earned profession of yours is if you have a managed mind, if you know how to deal with your stress. All right, this was a long call, but I hope this was useful. And please share this with someone who seems to be stressed. All right, that's it. Thank you.